Hello and welcome, I am your host Dekay and I'll be explaining my hunter loadout for the Crota's End raid. This video will go by section or encounter, so here we go. In the first encounter, dubbed the Abyss, my loadout is as follows. For armor, I run the full raid gear with the exception of the Don't Touch Me exotic gauntlets. These gauntlets add longevity to my hunter with the invisibility perk, and doubles as a countermeasure in case all team members go down and soloing the rest of the encounter is necessary. For weapons, I run Fatebringer as primary due to its explosive properties and efficiency to deal with grouped up enemies with minimal ammo. For my special slot, I use Black Hammer to deal with the ogres at the end of the encounter by providing stun support while teammates blast away with heavy ordnance. Lastly, for my heavy slot, I use Song of Loadout to repel the large number of hive in rapid succession or to deal with the few melee knights during the encounter. The class setup I have is for the Blade Dancer. In the first column, I use the Flux Grenade for their excellent damage to the single stuck target and the splash damage this particular grenade provides. For my jumps, I just use the simple higher jump because I find myself needing it more than control, and I do not use blink because I am horrible at it. I usually end up just disorienting myself. For my special in this encounter, I use Vanish, just in case I need to solo the encounter. I just use it for avoiding the ogres at the very end. For my Blink Strike ability, I stick to the stealth theme and go with Escape Artist for those emergency moments you're not able to crouch long enough to go invisible, or other unfortunate events. For the stats section of the skill tree, I choose toughness and speed only because recovery is not a factor later during the Crota encounter, and I'm quite lazy to switch back and forth. Under the sixth column, I use Shadowjack to again emphasize the stealth build here and to further benefit from the previous mentioned abilities. In the second stat emphasis column, I use toughness at all costs. And lastly, I use Stalker for an extra added form to activate invisibility by crouching for a short period of time. The goal for this build is to evade enemy damage through stealth. Anytime invisibility is activated, enemies usually abandon their attack. With this setup, soloing the Abyss is very possible, oftentimes without firing a single shot. I usually prefer running as a group because I find the encounter more frantic and fun then, but sometimes you just gotta get things done. For the next encounter I'll dub the Bridge, only a few things change mainly in the weapons department. My primary now is the Fang of Loadout. This is an all-around versatile gun and my personal favorite drop from the Crota hard mode. I choose this weapon for its great damage and range. Unlike most users of the Fang, I find the target marking ability to be useful when pointing out enemies from across the way, and the Hive Disruptor ability is a plus especially in this raid. My secondary remains the same, but now I equip Truth in my heavy slot. I feel a rocket launcher from this point onwards can be more beneficial since the spaces are now more wide open, unlike the claustrophobic darkness of the Abyss. My skill tree has not changed at this point and will probably remain the same until the very final encounter with Crota. The reason for this setup on the Bridge is because I'm usually responsible for the middle platform and not the left and right totems. I am also in the position for the longest period of time because I usually cross the bridge fourth. With the Don't Touch Me gauntlets and numerous invisibility abilities, I am able to stay on the middle platform indefinitely without compromising the bridge formation. With the same setup, watching the totems is also no problem, but the totems have a bit more room for error when stepping off its activation platform, unlike the middle, which starts deconstructing the bridge almost immediately after stepping away. For deathsinger, my setup remains unchanged, but may exchange Fang for the Abyss Defiant in the primary slot for its wizard stun locking properties, which can be quite handy during this fight. For the final encounter, my gear is switched just a bit. Instead of the Don't Touch Me gauntlets, I use Mask of the Third Man for two main reasons. The infusion ability the mask provides allows me to heal during the Crota fight. This is more important in the hard version of the Crota encounter where the chalice is not present. The second reason for using the mask is that it extends my super usage. Even before the glass breaks in the beginning of the fight, I can already clear a good number of alkalites and generate orbs for my teammates using the Razor's Edge ability. This allows the super attack to travel through the ground like a shockwave and hit enemies behind the glass. My weapon setup is still Fang, Black Hammer, and Truth, which I use instead of Yellowhorn because I like that it carries more rockets and is generally used for clearing Thrall while fetching the sword, or finishing off the pesky sword bearer if he's still being a little uncooperative. Also, I don't own a Yellowhorn, so that's why. Again, the only thing that I switch in the skill tree is the super ability column from Vanishing to Razor's Edge. It is also noteworthy though to mention that Escape Artist is very useful during this part of the encounter due to being able to stay on the platform with Crota after downing him. In summary, this is my sword bearer build, which allows me to heal via orbs and to maintain my loadout of stealth in an attacking manner. That's it for my Crota's End Hunter loadout. I will try to work on the other two classes if you enjoyed this one. Thanks again for watching.